Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Sunday, July 3rd, 2022. I hope everyone here is enjoying their 4th of July weekend. A lot to talk about today as I enjoy our Sunday morning get togethers with our co host, Riley Magnuson from the Windy City. We get to check in on the final day of the PGA. We always check the board. And as I said in the description of today's show, is there potentially another JT win today? But it's not Mr. Justin Thomas. It's Mr. Poston himself, who's looking to go box to wire. Pretty impressive. In a shortened field, as the Live Tour is gaining a lot of, I don't want to say steam and momentum, but people are just, kind of now just jumping over without anything. Paul Casey, number 26, I think, in the world rankings, has decided to go over. You're starting to see the guys that are, as I like to say, on the back nine, saying, hey, no disrespect to the PGA. You have paved our way. You have given me an opportunity to fulfill my dream. Now the Live Tour is just basically saying, hey, we're now going to give you the financial rewards to come on over and play in our 3-round shotgun. It's almost like a country club setting. It's the club championship each week, but the winners are getting $4 million. I mean, it's life-changing money for a lot of these guys, not for the bigger names, but for a lot of these guys. For the ECSI VIP'S yesterday, a long, long, long day coming. It has been a battle. It has been, take a couple days off, take a swing here. I talk about the luck factor in baseball. It's a 162 game marathon, and you try to gain some traction. I know every day is a different day, but every day just seemed to be something else, whether it was a walk-off homer. I posted yesterday to a couple people, no lead is safe. And what really grabs you is if you're playing the first fives, you got a 2-0 lead, 3-0 lead, 4-0 lead, 5-0 lead, and still can't cash the ticket. Going into the 5th inning, it happened to us this week, having a 6-0 lead, Padres, full game, bottom of the 7th, can't cash that ticket. Well, yesterday, maybe, just maybe, the tides are changing. The VIPs, we come out guns a-blazing. We grabbed our co-host's team, the White Sox, first 5 plus 117 for a half unit. We get that to the pay window. We get the over 10 Phillies and Cards. That was 5-5 in like the 4th. That comes in. Last night we get the Rockies team total over 6.5. That comes in around the 4th or 5th inning there. And then our only loss in the day was the Padres' first 5 plus 122. I knew right away we were on the wrong side. I'm drawing a brain cramp here. I can't believe. Oh, Hugh Darvish, three solo homers in the first. So that was dead on arrival. And you know what, guys? Give me 1 second here. I think I'm missing one. And what was the actual game changer where I really feel now that the world is off my shoulders and we had a full unit on it? We had the Tigers full game minus 127, down 3-2, bottom of the 9th, and we get back-to-back solo homers to win 4-3. So a 4-1 VIP day for us. And Jesus, guys, I couldn't have asked. I got a lot of people reaching out like, holy shit, Jeff, yes. And a lot of people jump ship. A lot of people are waiting for football. But again, if you trust the process and you believe and you just focus on your own bankroll, you focus on you, not what everyone else is doing, just you. They say only the strong will survive. So with that, I'm getting, as we're speaking, Sunday, Quicksand Sunday. Me and Riley will talk about that as we were speaking. Judge doubtful, Jose Ramirez doubtful. So it's a day. Those guys just coming off a doubleheader. It's a day where you kind of play a little stuff, sprinkle something in the infield, and just get to the barbecue, get to the cookout, get to the beach, whatever makes you happy. So enough from me. Let's bring in our co-host from the Windy City himself, the one and only Mr. Riley Magnuson. Morning, sir.
Oh, excuse me. Morning, my friend. Happy 4th of July weekend. Happy July. Happy to be here as always. Yeah, another Sunday in the books, or coming into the books. Another Saturday night in the books. Had a pretty entertaining UFC 276 last night. If anybody watched that one, that was a lot of fun to watch last night. So, yeah, hell of a golf tournament. Despite the low field, we've obviously, we should have a pretty heated Sunday of golf action if you're, a golf nut. And obviously some baseball action. You had the Rockies team total yesterday. I had the Rockies first 5 in the hook against Mr. Dallas Keuchel. You know me. I'm going to be if the Diamondbacks are rolling him out unchained for 4 or 5 innings, once or once every 5 days. I'm going to be interested. That one seems like one of the safer bets of baseball right now. So, kudos to you for finding the team total. I'll take the first 5 and we'll tag team that one again next time. So, nonetheless, I'm excited to be here as always, my friend. We can start and head wherever you want. NBA, we haven't mentioned NBA free agency and rumors are obviously picking up some steam since we last talked. So I'm happy to start wherever you want, my friend.
Since my lights were out, meaning I been battling something for the last week to 10 days. So let's just say I was fast asleep before the co-main event and the main event. Give me what happened in both of those in the UFC.
So I had a late Friday night. I was doing everything I can. I did not watch the Izzy fight. I thought that was a little predictable, so I figured I could crash out a little early on that one. Volkanovski, though, and Holloway, I was looking forward to that one. As far as entertainment and kind of a firework event, it kind of disappointed in that. But because Volkanovski was so damn good, I mean, historically type good, and that's with how good Holloway was, Volkanovski probably put the best performance up of his career. So all kudos to that man. Disappointment. I know Holloway is one of the biggest fan favorites, including myself, but hard not to be impressed with what Volkanovski did. But then the one before that, Pereira knocking out Sean Strickland. I mean, just concrete bricks for hands, man. That was absolutely impressive. Sean Strickland was one of the biggest up-and-comers as far as, one of the hottest fighters in the game, and he got absolutely knocked out. One right before that, Robbie Lawler obviously gets beat up. And then the Sean O'Malley fight right before that, get the eye poke, no contest. That one was disappointing. Obviously, everyone, win or lose, everyone loves to watch Sean O'Malley fight. So that one was really disappointing. But the undercard was pretty entertaining as well. So not the UFC guy as far as breaking down gambling stuff, but I am a big fan. So it was exciting. Was hoping for a little more fireworks. One of the biggest cards of the week or of the year, excuse me. But it was in my eyes didn't disappoint from my perspective over here.
So did the final match go the distance, or was?
Yeah, it was unanimous decision the last 2. Like I said, didn't see the Izzy fight, but it sounded like it was pretty predictable, kind of cleaned up as usual. But yeah, the last two went the distance. Volkanovski had Holloway bleeding pretty bad from his kind of a cut like right here for the last 3 rounds. So and Volkanovski didn't look like he kind of had about 0 scratches as per usual. So. That guy is putting up a case for pound best fighter in the world. I don't know if he'll pass up Usman. I think that's who's got it right now, but it was pretty damn impressive, man.
Let's go to golf. Mr. Poston, it's funny because my one and done, and we had our PGA guy come on, one of our PGA guys, yeah. Mr. Dubs Anderson, and we had talked, and actually you were on with us, and we're throwing out some long shots, and he was talking about a few guys, and my one and done was the bazooka, Mr. Busenhaus, who every day now is hanging around, and when you look at his scores, you're getting all excited, and then in comes JT, -5, -6. So right now on DraftKings, posted -105, Denny McCarthy and Stallings +500, Grillo +650, Call him Taryn plus 1,600. The Bazooka himself plus 3,500. Chris Nagel plus 4,000. Schwab plus 6,000. Bo Hogue plus 6,500. And I'll go to the last two who I talked about, and actually Dubsy talked about one of them, Maverick McNeely plus 7,000. And then I talked about Cam Davis at plus 8,000. Anything there to wet your whistle, or is it JT's box to wire?
It almost reminds me, at least, of like how the spacing of the leaderboard reminds me a little bit of maybe take out Cantley, and it's that kind of difference we had with Schauffele and then Thigala and the rest of the board from I don't remember if it was last week. I think it was last week, not 2 weeks ago. And so it looked like it. I was sitting here saying we might have a Schauffele and Cantley fireworks show, and obviously Cantley fell off, and then it was Thigala threatening Schauffele and almost had the lead. So I think this is another day where you might actually find some value with one of these guys kind of sitting right here. These guys went real low, pretty similar to the last week where these guys are going pretty low just about every single day. You look down through what guys are already posting right now, another day where guys are going pretty low. So, you hope that posting falls back a little bit. And I think one of these guys, I don't think it's crazy to say Bazunhout could put together a huge round and chase posting for the finish. Same with McNeely. So I would say those two guys are probably my favorites as far as as far as the value is concerned. Trying to pick off one of those guys, maybe Bazunhout had like a little bit longer odds than I think it was. You said 35-1. I think it's 34-1 where I was just saw on FanDuel. So I'd like a little bit steeper odds than that for a guy that's 6 shots back right now. So that might keep me away from it a little bit. But I think there's probably going to be one of these guys. Emiliano Grillo definitely could make a run for it. As far as being right there, one of the more talented guys that we have in the stretch here in that top 10. So I doubt it would be anything past that stretch. But Bazunhout, after what we were talking about, wouldn't surprise me if he put something together. But I'm kicking myself because Poston was probably the one name that I didn't take any action on, and obviously he's sitting right here. So that one's one of my bigger misses that I didn't take that actually ended up working out that I've had so far this season. So I'm kicking myself for that one. But nonetheless, should be a nice finish. I'll go Hogue, Bazunhout, and McNeely as some guys that can jump up into the.
I agree. I mean, I think the price is fair on a Stallings or Grillo, but that's not enough to really take a swing on what we like to do on Sundays.
Right.
So I was on Bazunhout to start the tournament. You still can get them at 3,500. And then I'm going to go further down with the Bo Hogue at 6,500, Maverick at 7,000, and I'll finish it off with a Cam Davis, plus 8,000. Again, $10 swings even makes it a nice payday. If you want to get froggy, 15, 20, but it's nothing that you're going to go take it. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to the window and putting a nickel on JT Poston minus 105.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, like I was saying, there's a couple guys, Streelman and Hardy. I got Hardy top 20, and he's trying to make a push for it. A couple of guys 5 under through 12. So an 8, 9, 10 under round, I don't think is out of the question today from one of these guys. As long as Poston goes, maybe even 1 under par, and something like 21, 22 under is the winning score. So definitely think there's some potential value on the board today.
Before we dive into baseball, why don't you give us your thoughts? It was funny. I think we should call up our buddy, our producer, Mr. Kiefer, and have him take the clip where a couple moves were made in the NBA, and you basically said in a nutshell, don't get excited because it's going to be a quiet, free agency. As I was going to bed last night, again, a lot of people on Twitter with check marks are basically saying that Kyrie for Westbrook is really gaining steam. Outside looking in, listen, let's go back a year when Westbrook was added per LeBron. They could have had, I kept saying that they needed to go over to Sacramento. They needed a Buddy Hield type. They also could have had DeRozan and King LeBron to, no, we got our guy Westbrook. As soon as they landed Westbrook, that's all I heard was championship. Right. And we all know the rest of the history. For the Nets, it makes all the sense in the world in this regards. KD wants out, all right? So you're going to get rid of the cancer with Kyrie. He just blows up another team. You're
Yeah.
getting Westbrook. You're taking on the $47 million. That's going to be an open slot for you next year. He's off the books next year. Okay, you're going to get a king's ransom for KD. Now, the only question is, I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't even think they know what they can do, obviously, with the gentleman just cashing checks, Mr. Ben Simmons. I mean, that's just another, catastrophe there.
Yeah.
But give us your oversight. What has transpired over the weekend? I mean, the monies is just these guys just every day they wake up. I mean, another 50 million a year, 40 million a year. And it's not even talked about the no names getting 10, 12, 15 million a year. The NBA, it's just sickening the money that's getting thrown around.
Right. It's not quite like that one summer where, a guy like Timothy Mozgov was getting like 80 million over 4 years or something like that. Not quite that egregious, but it's been 100%. It's been, guys are getting gouged what teams are gouging pocketbooks for some of these guys. But yeah, I think I think it probably maybe, there's maybe another piece as far as the Westbrook and Kyrie trade goes down. And that's going to help the Lakers a lot as long as Kyrie's obviously committed and ready to play for a full season as opposed to, what we just saw, obviously, for extenuating circumstances. But nonetheless, if he's ready to go, that'll help the Lakers. But, I heard there was rumors that him and Kyrie could go, him and KD could be traded together to someplace. I don't think that's very realistic. And, we haven't talked about it yet, but the Gobert trade to Minnesota and 4 picks, I think that's an overpay, but when you put it in that context, when you're shopping Kevin Durant, if you're the Nets, you almost have to use that as a negotiating chip. If you get less of a return than what the Jazz just got for Rudy Gobert, you're going to be ridiculed. And so, that makes it so much harder. And because it's not just going to be like a small one up, in my opinion. Maybe it will be because there might not be a ton of flexibility for it. But when a guy like that, who's obviously, got worth in the NBA, and then you can throw in a Kevin Durant, they're going to be looking for, the type of return that, it's not going to take 5 years to rebuild this team. They're going to want to be, rebuilding rather quickly. But, I as far as the Ben Simmons and potential Westbrook combo, that is one of the most hilarious duos in the history of the NBA as far as just guys that, how do you make that situation work? And obviously the hilarious thing was him posting the picture or the Nets posted the picture on Twitter of him basically ready to roll hours before the KD and Kyrie drama started, and everyone's laughing at the Nets. So, it's going to be interesting. You've already heard some rumors that the Suns have been offering, and the Nets are just like, this is nowhere even close to a starting point. And so that's kind of where I was the other day, where this might be a bidding war around the league, or the Nets are just going to, hold these people or hold these teams hostage until they get even a starting point type of talking deal. So I think it might be a few days before we really see something from KD, and the Nets are probably going to be standing pat and not trying or not letting these teams take advantage of them, because that could obviously happen. And had that Gobert trade not happened, that might have been the type of return for Kevin Durant, like 4 first-round picks and maybe a player or something. But now that you've set that somewhere else in the league, that foundation has been set for what, the offer, whether it's right or wrong for Gobert, which I think is wrong. The Nets have to command at least that type of deal for Kevin Durant. So it's not going to be super simple. It might even take a third team type of deal to make this work. But, it's probably going to happen here within the next week or two, as we move on through free agency. But, money's been being thrown around. Zion Williams hasn't played, and I don't know how long he got as much money as he did. And I'm a massive fan, and I hope it works out. But that's a risky play for a guy that didn't has gained a ton of weight and obviously has his own issues. Darius Garland, who I think is fantastic, he just got a huge amount of money. I think that's an overpay. Obviously, I hope it works out for them. I like him as well. But these teams in a few years, I think are going to be. It's not going to be to the egregious level that we saw with Westbrook, John Wall, where these guys that are, damaged goods to barely even playing are getting $40 million, and they're just these untradeable contracts. I don't think it's going to be to that level, but it's going to be, it's not going to look pretty, and these teams are going to have a lot less flexibility. So, I'm interested to see how the Nets, what is a perfect world for the Nets over the next 3 to 5 years as far as these trades are concerned, and I think that's going to answer a lot of questions as far as where they go and what they want in a deal here. So, it might take a week or two, but somebody's going to be calling and somebody's going to finally pony up and give a massive ransom, I think.
Well, when I talked to Brady Tinker, I threw it out there. I think it would be a hell of a couple years. I know Brunson took the money and ran to New York. I would love to see a Luka and KD. I think it would be, Brady's main concern is who wants to come to play with Dallas, because Luka just takes the air out of the ball. He dribbles for 17 seconds and then launches from the logo or drives or whatever.
Right.
Here's another story that I'm hearing, and it makes a lot of sense. And I think if you really peel some layers back here, I think it's got some real steam here. Danny Ainge retires from the Celtics.
Right.
He sits around for a year, and then I had heard all along he was going to Utah. Next thing you know, he goes to Utah, GM. He has a house in Utah. We know the Ainge story. Well, he then poaches the youngest now NBA coach for 5 years. So they go back to the trade of Garnett, the trade of Ray Allen, to break up this team. They bring in a young Brad Stevens. They give him a 5-year contract.
Right.
They now trade Gobert, and we know Trader Danny and his draft picks. He gets 4 first round. I'm hearing he's not done. I'm hearing, because if you look back at some of the pieces, Donovan Mitchell's best friends he has already cut ties with, and they have been traded.
Yeah.
Do you believe that he is not done? And next is Donovan Mitchell, and then the full blown up has happened. He's got now 7, 8, 9 first round picks, a brand new 5-year deal with his new head coach, and they're going to start from ground zero.
I would not be surprised whatsoever. He's always got something up his sleeve. And I mean, I've kind of taken the stance. I'm a fan of Donovan Mitchell, but I do not think he is the sole piece or a top 15 player at any point in his career. I think he is what he is right now. And obviously that's extremely athletic. He can score, but I don't really think there's much more to progress from where he is. And that's not trying to be disrespectful to him. So I think there is value in trading him, is kind of what I'm saying. So I think so. And I think they can send him to a team that probably thinks he is, worth more than he actually is. So I'm with it. I really am. I don't think he's going to be the best player on a championship team ever. And he's another guy that's tough to find a pairing for him, in my opinion. So I think it would make a lot of sense for them to, sell high on him essentially when I'm blanking on how old he is exactly, but it's certainly not past 25. So the value on him is still there, and yeah, they could be, hoarding draft picks for the next decade, and it creates a lot of flexibility. Whether that's, you luck into, some, obviously some really valuable draft picks like, he did with the Celtics, or you have trade pieces. Look at what the Thunder are doing. They have like 4 or 5 core young pieces, and they still have a ton of draft picks. And they, Utah's obviously a little bit bigger of a market, and a marketable market and free agent destination, at least a little bit. So, I think he's got plenty more up his sleeve. The Brian Windhorst, speculation is flying over the last few days as far as what he said on First Take. So, I think the Jazz probably got 1 or 2 more goofy moves up their sleeve that people might not understand in the moment, but 5 years from now, the light bulb's gonna go off, and you're gonna know exactly what they did when they're top 3 seed again in the East, but actually have some more title implications than they've had over the last 5 years, because basically they've been treading water, Jeff, and I don't think that was gonna end anytime soon.
Well, obviously the dogs are barking today, so let's dig into the MLB. Full slate. There's actually a game going off at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm looking at a different board here. I'm going to just pass the board over to you, let you shoot here. From the eye test, some interesting games. It's travel day, meaning it's the last day of these series. The late game, St. Louis and Phillies, Wainwright Wheeler has some traction there. The Padres limped in Dodger Stadium, lost the first 3. You got a hurt Kershaw versus which Gore you're going to get there. My Red Sox laying eggs in Wrigley Field, now coming out with Seabolt versus Thompson. And that game is surprising to me. It's a bullpen game for the Sox. They haven't hit yet in the whole series. We've been seeing Thompson as favorites, which surprised me. Now they're not favorite. He's not favorite, which shocks me here because he was favored earlier this week and he went box to wire. So it's the old Quicksand Sunday, Vegas playing Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun here.
All righty. Yeah, let's kick it off at the top of the board. I know as far as Quicksand Sunday is concerned, it's can definitely be sketchy to get involved in that Peacock game, that first game here. It starts in a half an hour. If you lose that game, you're already starting behind, for the next. As opposed to what we've had the last few weeks. Again, if I'm getting involved with this, it's a very probably pizza and beer money low type wager. But we got Singer and Skubal on the mound for Kansas City and Detroit. I like Skubal to have a bounce back. He hasn't been very good here in June. Obviously, he was really good before that. I think he has a bounce back here today against the Royals. Has some really solid numbers against them. Whereas Singer, very hit or miss. I would say a little more consistently, 3-4 type runs allowed per start. So, and this Detroit team has some success against him. So, if I'm going anywhere, I like this Detroit team here in the opening game, but obviously, I'm treading lightly on this, opening game, trying not to get behind for the rest of the day and chasing that all day long. So, any thoughts from you? You staying away, or do you like Skubal in this one?
I have to say this. I tried to remain as positive as possible yesterday. It was the bottom of the ninth. I was down 3-2, 1 out. And then all of a sudden I see 3-3 and I looked up to the skies and I said, thank you. And then next time I went and I looked, because I had the 8 games going on in the direct TV package. Tigers weren't one of them. And so I was like, okay, I went back and the game was not there. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I saw back-to-back homers. And so I was blessed. So I like where your eyes are. I really do. But I think I'm going to take my 1 unit yesterday and run.
I see. I'm with you on that one. I totally understand where you're at. Like I said, I'm going small wager. I think I might even pay a little tax on the Tigers in this one. First 5 minus the hook kind of scares me a little bit. Wouldn't shock me if Singer's it's a 1-0 game or 2-2 type game. So we'll move on from that one. Next one up, not strong thoughts. Fetty is one of my personal kryptonites, but Miami and Washington. Pablo Lopez on the mound there for Miami. Miami on the road, minus 135 or so. Total 8.5 in that one. Anything from you on that one, or are you moving on from that one, staying away?
Do you have the numbers here? Didn't Lopez get lit up his last start?
I think so. I'll double check. That was another thing where it seemed like he was probably due for a bounce back. At St. Louis, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 bombs against him.
Yeah, so again, the fade Fetty, he's one of the guys that I can honestly tell you, take the Nationals with Fetty. He doesn't get out of the third, go against him, and he's still in there in the 6th or 7th. Yep. For me, it's a perfect bounce back spot for Lopez. Now, do you trust the back end? Do you trust the offense? I have no problem with someone that wants to get in first 5. Anyone wants to go full game as well. The tax isn't that high. It's almost, if you want my honest 2 cents, they're like baiting you to take Lopez. I'd respect him more minus 140 or 145 today.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Like I said, Fetty is my own personal boogeyman. So I half the time I don't even look at I don't even go past seeing his name when I see his name on my bill. So I'm gonna stay away from that one. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. Woodruff. This one I had conflicting a couple different sites. Starters for Pittsburgh. On one I saw Quintana. On the others it seemed like it was Thompson. Are we seeing Thompson starting for Pittsburgh today?
I saw the same thing you did. I'm going with the Bible, Don Best, and it is Mr. Thompson.
Okay. Pittsburgh's taking the first 2 out of the 3 in this one. Nonetheless, you got Woodruff on the mound for Milwaukee. About minus 200 or so for the Brewers' case in this one. Like I said, Pittsburgh takes the first 2. Are you back, or maybe not backing, but you're assuming the Brewers get the win in a the Brewers have lost 2 out of 3. They're looking for a split out of this one. I apologize. And so given that, are you assuming they win this one to even this one up? And if so, is there anything you like out of it? Or, the Pirates starting to look a little pesky here and you got no interest in fading those guys today?
It's amazing when you bring up a stud, how he just lifts the team.
Yeah.
And since they brought up the stud at shortstop, offensively, they've had some flashes. I like the word you used there, pesky. We've been talking about the Orioles. The Orioles had another game won yesterday, and you're gonna have. And I put up on Twitter, the Twins aren't going anywhere, guys. And for someone like yourself, I know you understand this. They're not going away, and so pesky Orioles, pesky Twins, pesky Pirates right now.
Right.
I with the number again, Quicksand Sunday. Anyone just watching that doesn't watch us religiously, for the ECSI VIPs, we put together an action parlay. We'll put together maybe a couple big favorites on the money line, or we might try to get cute and split it up with, like, for instance, like if we're going to use the Brewers today, we might have a half unit parlay, including the Bruins on the money line. And we might also throw in the Brewers on the run line. I think it's a good spot here to use the Brewers to try to even the series. Not a big Zach Thompson fan. The Brewers back end is well rested. They didn't have to, use a Williams or a Hader yesterday. It's all hands on deck. So I like the spot where the Brewers are today.
Okay. Over under 7.5 gives me some hope that Woodruff's going to be really, really solid today as well. If that one was a little higher, I might have a little concerns about him. But I think this that kind of tips me off that it might be a nice Woodruff day as well. So I'll move on to the next one. Tampa Bay and Toronto. Shane Baz and Ross Stripling in this one. Stripling was pretty damn good moving into the starter role there in June. Tampa gets both of the doubleheader yesterday. Tampa takes both of them. Are you trusting this line and a bounce back, considering that, losing 2 yesterday in Toronto's case, or do you like Shane Baz in the Rays today to keep things rolling? And I don't know if it's I think they've played already 4 games here, so this will be 5, and they've split so far, and Tampa got the doubleheader. So do you like a bounce back for Toronto in this one today?
A mindset. Stripling's been tough. Stripling's actually been pitching well. Baz, I think, the 6th start. Hats off to Tampa getting both of the doubleheader. They win the first game, and then in comes Hatch, and he gives up a boatload early, and it was thanks for playing. That is an absolute coin flip. I hate to say it this way, but I'm going to play both sides here. I think it's great value on Tampa getting Baz. He's rounding into form. The Rays bats woke up over the doubleheader. In the same token, tough to think that Toronto's going to lose 3 straight at home, and you're getting a fair market price at minus 124, 125 for them at home. So, yeah, I'm playing both sides. I think it's a popcorn game for me. I could tell, if someone wanted Tampa, someone wanted Toronto, I see both sides.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm staying away as well. New York and Cleveland, Montgomery and McKenzie. It looks like both these guys could use a bounce back start. I know. I think one of them has had 2 rough in a row. I think McKenzie was rough last time out, real rough. Yankees, 5 straight wins over Cleveland. I think all of them this year. And we're seeing about minus 165. Obviously, the Yankees are 58-21. As you always say, you don't like to get in front of that train as far as betting against them. Are we feeling the same way today? Is there anything you like out of this one, or are you just moving on from the Yankees altogether today?
A couple weeks ago, the Sox rolled into Cleveland, and I thought it was actually, I think it was last weekend. The Cleveland was in this spot where they're about to get swept. I thought it was a great spot for the Guardians, right, and they laid an egg. The Yankee team just taking no prisoners, as you said, 58-21. Montgomery, listen, we were on McKenzie earlier this week. I think he gave up three homers. He pitched okay. I'll use the word okay. Spotted some pitches. He threw a fastball to Gary Sanchez. It was against the Twinkies, and the ball landed 500 feet up into the. I think both pitchers both pitchers, I think, are going to pitch better here. I like I can't even say it this way. I like the spot where the Guardians are, but as I keep saying, I'm not stepping in front of the Yankees.
No, I think I'm with you. I kind of agree with you. If I'm going anywhere, which I don't think I am, under 7.5 might be where I would go in this one. And both these guys are really solid. But then again, you never know. It could be 3-2 at the end of the game, and the Yankees hit a 3-run home run and win 5-3 or something like that at the top of the 9th. It wouldn't shock me if they pulled something out of their ass like that again today. So Atlanta and Cincinnati, this one, obviously the Reds not a good team at all. Braves playing pretty damn well. But Morton versus Castillo, Morton, pretty good the last three actually, and I know you and I aren't very good, are very big Morton fans. Castillo 6 shutout innings last time out. Are you? It's about minus 170 for the Braves. Are you respecting that line? Calling bullshit on that line? You think Morton's going to get lit up? Which way do you like in this one? Is that a fair line with these two teams here?
Yeah, Ground Chuck has come back to Ground Chuck. As Scott
Yeah.
Webb was talking about last time he was pitching, he has really turned it on. I think it was a good start last game for Castillo.
Yeah.
He's honestly showcasing. The Reds, I'm hearing, will move him at the break deadline. So the Braves, as bad of a start as they started, 46-33 now. Let me see where the Mets are. Yeah, they're 2 games. Someone posted it. The Mets lead in the East is only 2 games. And I went on record when DeGrom went down and then Scherzer went down, then McGrill. I asked Scotty, is it time to buy the Braves? They were 10 games back. No. Well, it's 2.5. Now, today, DeGrom getting ready for his first rehab assignment. Scherzer's getting cranked up. You had the big lead in cushion. Now it's down to 2.5. But you get your hired guns back. Maybe they're not. It's almost like maybe this is the Giants versus the Dodgers last year, where the Dodgers got to even and they couldn't pass them. I think Atlanta is in a good spot. Again, potential money line parlay. If you wanted to use the run line, I don't have a problem with it. It's 8.5. The Reds are the Reds, and I just like the way Atlanta's playing right now.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. The Reds are the Reds. I think that's a fair statement to say. Next one up is you just mentioned them. Rangers and Mets. That one is in New York, I do believe. John Gray and Carlos Carrasco for the Mets. Mets not a very good week. 1-4 last 5. Obviously, we're talking about them losing their lead right now. 1-4 last 5. And that I do believe includes is that a split between these two teams? Yep. Rangers got the one yesterday. Carrasco was not very good in June. John Gray, opposite, was pretty solid in June, 2.39 ERA. Are you buying some sense of urgency from the Mets today, as we're kind of talking about here? And on top of that, maybe a little positive regression from Carlos Carrasco, maybe a little negative regression on John Gray's part. Is that a perfect storm to make you interested in the Mets, or are you calling phooey and maybe it's going to take a few more days before this Mets teams wake up?
Scotty Webb believes Carrasco has hit the wall. He came out guns a-blazing, and he has really struggled of late. Yeah. Mets, Gray's been pitching great. Texas's offense, I don't want to say is legit, but they're scoring runs. And I'm mad at myself there because I talked myself. I left it on the desk. Perez, first 5 yesterday. They come out and score early, and they end up winning the game. I thought that was a perfect spot for Perez. So I'll use this thought process. If I didn't have Perez yesterday, I can't take Gray today.
That's fair. No, that's totally fair. I've not been Gray's another guy that's kind of my kryptonite. I feel like if I go against him in this spot, he'll be fantastic. If I go against him, if I go against him, he'll be fantastic. If I go with him, he'll be terrible. So another guy that just has my number for the most part. So let's see. Moving on. Boston and the Cubs. You mentioned it a little bit already. Seabold. At least starting the game for the Red Sox versus Thompson. Seabold was not very good in his season debut, as you are aware. Thompson's been pretty hit or miss. He came on pretty strong. He's been hit or miss the last few. Cubs take the first 2, as you mentioned earlier. Interesting line. Red Sox about minus 115. First 5, pretty closer to a lot closer to minus 110 each way, it looks like. Anything you like out of this one? You obviously, it's in Wrigley. You're in front of Fenway Park right now, but anything you like out of this one today for the Red Sox?
There's just some series and some spots that I just don't think that was set up well, and this was one of them. I just didn't like the spot here. You played some good AL East teams, and when the Sox come back they played the Rays tomorrow. They got like the Rays. They got the East mashup leading up to the break here. I'm going to say it this way. I think they're peeking ahead to tomorrow. I don't like to wave the white flag. I don't like to say they're just mailing this one in. Pitching edge definitely goes to the Cubs here. I think I'd respect the Cubs minus 115, minus 120 today versus Seabold, who was not good.
Right.
He looked okay the first time around, and after that, he just got lit up like a Christmas tree. My lean and my play would be Cubs or Cubs only today.
Okay. Yeah, and looking at it, I mean, you mentioned it. It's not. It's almost the entire month of July. They're playing the AL East, and it's not the obviously the Orioles are pesky, but it's not the Orioles. It's everybody else. So, yeah, super important month, and this one is as if you're comparing the importance of games, this is about the least important game over the next month. So I'm with you on that one. That's an interesting way to look at it. So, next one up, another interesting game, Arizona and Colorado. We talked about yesterday's game between Arizona and Colorado with Keuchel on the mound, 11-7 win for Arizona. For Colorado yesterday, 11-7 win. Gallen versus Cool. Gallen bounce back spot. He wasn't very good last time out. Cool has actually been pretty decent here for the Rockies. Over under is at 11.5. Are you buying a nice pitching matchup today, like I might be, or are you calling fooey on that and it's Coors Field and we're going to see a light show today?
I'm going back. I think this was the Arizona. We win against Gallen, and this was the Padres 6-0 lead that we miraculously lost 7-6, and we win against Gallen there. We grabbed the Colorado team total thanks to Mr. Keuchel yesterday. You know what? I'm going to grab my one unit and be happy and proud. I expect a bounce back from Gallen. I do. I think it's actually a pretty good spot for our Cool's been okay. I don't have a problem with it. Two teams, 35-43 and 34-44. You know what? It's a popcorn game for me. I mean, but
Okay.
it's an 11.5. Anyone that wants to back Arizona today, I think it's a good spot for them.
Okay, interesting. I'm seeing it's down to 11 on FanDuel, the total, and on the first 5 on FanDuel, they've got over 6.5 at plus 108, under 6.5 at minus 132. So they're enticing you on a little over 6.5 with the plus money there. So interesting stuff there. I think it's going to be a nice. I like Gallen a lot in this spot. It's still, but anytime you're in Coors Field and you, like you said, I said it the other day. Anytime I get some win some money on a Rockies series, I like to take my money and run. So I might be doing the same today. Next one up, Sox and Giants, White Sox and Giants. White Sox get the first 2 out of this one. The buzz is slowly picking up as far as this team looks to be starting to have a little more fun than they've had the last 80 games in this season. The White Sox, that is. Giolito versus Brabia, which I believe is going to be a bullpen day for the Giants. Interesting one here. I saw wind is blowing out at about 12 miles an hour in this one, but we're looking at a total of 8 runs, I do believe. Anything to make out of that? Typically, when we see these double-digit winds blowing out, we've seen a total that's sitting at least 9. Anything to make out of that one from you, from your perspective?
We had Cease first 5 yesterday. And ask yourself this: how many times have you had a team and leadoff batter against home run? I just shook my head. I'm just like,
Yep.
here we go.
And then it was a double, either the next batter. I turned the game off for about 4 innings. I was like, okay, we got a bad Cease coming up. I'll check back a few innings and see what we've got. That's what happened with my house yesterday.
And that was exactly it. It was a homer double, and I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He battled. Listen, it wasn't vintage Cease.
No.
They made him work, but it wasn't vintage Webb either. Honestly, the pitching edge goes to Giolito. Now, again, which Jeets are we going to get? Which Giolito are we going to get here? White Sox trying to get some momentum going. This is a big game for them, I think. I like the edge here. I would have no problem trying to sneak in again, first 5 with the White Sox. Grab your edge there. The back end, again, you had to hold on tight to win last night. The Gravemans of the world, putting the tying and winning runs on base again. It's Sweat City there, but you won. So I like the White Sox first 5 today.
Okay. Yeah, and it's like you said, it is an important game. You could compare it to the Red Sox situation from what they've got in the division, but like you said, the White Sox are in a different spot to where every single game they're just trying to find some momentum and get some wins because they've got a lot of AL Central games coming up after this. But I think they're a team that's not really looking ahead to that. They can't really look ahead. They have to look at it day by day. So I don't think it's the same case as you were talking about with the Red Sox from that sense. But I like to hear you whenever you're saying the White Sox might have some, a good chance. I'm feeling good about it. And Giolito, he was solid last time out, but he had a few that were pretty rough. So I kind of like him to have another one here today. You mentioned it a little bit earlier. Gore and Kershaw in LA today. Which Gore are we going to get? What's the health status of Kershaw in this one? Dodgers about minus 200 in this one. And the total is flat 8. I'm seeing here today. The Padres obviously not playing well here in LA. Are the Dodgers going to coast today and look ahead? They're happy with the 3 out of 4 in this one, or are the Dodgers putting the foot down on the throats and taking the 4-game sweep here?
I have mixed emotions. I know Kershaw's been in and out lately. He has not pitched good his last couple starts. I'll play devil's advocate. Another bad start, and this is a perfect spot for, hey, Clayton, I'm going to put you on the 15-day DL. Why don't you enjoy it as we get ready for the All-Star break? We'll catch you in the second half here. A San Diego Padre team that's just demoralized right now. They're waiting on Tatis to return. They had the collapse of all collapses last year, and now their fan base is saying, well, it's starting earlier now. A team that's 46-34, they're still 12 games over 500. They've lost the first 3 in the series, so they came in 15 games over and tied with the Dodgers. Now in the win-loss column, they're 3 games back. Big start for Gore. I have no confidence in them. It's a good start, big start for Kershaw. Is he hurt? Is he not hurt? We'll see what the Padres are made out of. I'm just going to sit back and watch. But I have no faith in the Padres right now, and just as much as I have no faith in Kershaw either.
Right. No, I'm with you. I think it's a good one to just sit back and watch and, see how this one plays out today. Another interesting one, next one. Team that's starting to pick up a little buzz against one of the worst teams in the league. A's and Mariners. Mariners obviously, trying to find some buzz in this one. They're 38-42, still not quite there yet. But Frankie Montas and Robbie Ray today. Robbie Ray has been pretty damn, actually very good the last 4 times out. We've had a lot of fade Robbie Ray spots throughout the year. Obviously hasn't been happening in June here. Are you seeing some negative regression coming, or do you think Robbie Ray is going to be nails for at least a few more times before he hits the skids again? And obviously Frankie Montas on the other side here today.
Oakland's been pesky in this series. They lose. I think it was on Thursday, Friday. They Caprillion beats them 3-1. Yesterday, it took, I think, a run in the 8th and the run in the 9th for Seattle to win 2-1. Oakland's pitching's been great, and they're doing what they've done all year. Their offense just flat out sucks. And again, Frankie Montas basically pitching he's being showcased. He's not going to be there at the deadline. An under over a 6.5 here. I think the actual number is an Oakland number with Montas. That's a low number for Robbie Ray as well as he's been pitching. I think Oakland's sneaky today. I like the price tag. Again, I would respect Seattle minus 175, 180 at 145. They're kind of saying, hey, we got a couple windows open over here. Why don't you come play the Mariners today?
Yeah, line short over here, guys. Come on over here. But interesting split as far as the full game in the first 5. Mariners minus, and this is one spot, about minus 150 on the full game. Or excuse me, I'm a little wrong here. Minus 155 and then minus 145 on the first 5. So even a better price there on the first 5. So I think I'm with you. The A's might have something in the tank today as a live underdog in that one. So St. Louis and Philly, last one up. I think I might have skipped over one if you wanted to double back, but St. Louis and Philly, last one up. Sunday Night Baseball. Wainwright and Wheeler in this one. Wheeler getting the respect as far as the full game for the most part and the first 5. Another kind of the opposite split in this one. Full game about minus 155. First 5 about 175 for the Phillies in this one. Anything to tackle in this one? Are you jumping in, or is this Sunday night sit back and watch the no pun intended potential fireworks here as we head into the 4th of July?
Zach got us early this week. We had him first 5, and again, he gets us early. How many times has St. Louis been on the late game? You would think this is like, Bob Gibson. I swear every other week they're
Yeah.
on. A Wainwright that's just a crafty veteran, a Philly team with no back end. I give the edge to the Phillies. I mean, yesterday, what was it, 7-6? What's the final
Let's
yesterday?
see. Yep, 7-6 Cardinals.
Yeah, a game where so 2 days ago we have the Cards. They got the big lead. They blow it. In come the Phillies. Thank you there. And then we had 3-0 bottom of the fifth. Error by Arenado, and the floodgates open. They get three there. And we had minus the hook there. So it's a game where, again, I expect Wheeler. I give the edge to Wheeler. I don't trust their back end. If it's the last game on the board and you're looking for some popcorn and peanuts and a little fireworks, as you said, I would add the Phillies in a parlay money line. I don't trust them. If you want to get cute, go first five, but I do lean Phillies today.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm with you. That first five definitely feels better to me as far as avoiding that back end. So, anything that we missed that you wanted to double back to? I think I skipped over maybe the Angels and Astros, Orioles, Twins, and then maybe one more. Anything else that you wanted to chat about?
This Houston team, I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Anyone watching and listening that wants to pay attention, I don't care what the Yankees have done so far this year, meaning I think in a 7-game series right now, uh, Yankees would have the home field advantage. I think the Yankees would be about minus 170. I think you could get the Astros at around plus 150. In a 7-game series right now, I'm taking the Astros. I know you got Cole. I know, in playoff baseball, runs are so hard to come by.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get all these clutch 2-out homers, walk, 3-run homers, God bless you, because I know in the playoffs and the World Series, you tighten up like this.
Yeah.
And so I'll take the battle-tested Astros over the Yankees right now.
Yeah.
So why I'm saying this is I know the Yankees are going to add some pieces. I really do. I know Gallo's gone. I know there's a lot of, maybe Montas moves over there. Maybe they add another bat. But I'm telling you right now, in the American League, I think it's Astros or bust right now. So this team, again, just puts up crooked numbers with their eyes closed, whether it's, Alvarez, Bregman, Tucker. You know what I saw yesterday and I fell off my stool?
What's that?
Altuve has 16 homers now this year. The quietest 16 I've heard of all year. And this lineup is just so
does Kyle
damn.
Tucker. Sorry, so does Kyle Tucker. He's got 16 too.
Yeah. So I look at this team, Valdez versus Suarez. I like the spot for Houston. Again, it's a big number. Again, I like them in a money line parlay. The under-over right now at 8. I think you're going to get a strong start from Valdez. Suarez has shown flashes, but again, it's an Angels team that's waved the white flag. I like the Astros here.
No, I'm with you, and I won't add too much to what you said because I completely agree. As we've got, we're fans of, two AL teams that could be competing with them. Obviously, if my team's season turns around, we just saw the Astros in the playoffs. That was a scary team to play in the playoffs, and I don't want to see them again this year. I'm not saying I'd rather see the Yankees, but I might rather see the Yankees in a 7-game series as much as the Yankees obviously beat us up as well. So I'm with you. Both those teams are honestly equally scary to me, if not the Astros being more scary. If you get Verlander hot at the right time, it's terrifying. They're a terrifying team.
I agree. So that's the board. Any questions, comments, concerns, you can reach out to Riley at Riley_Magnuson, the one, or you can reach myself at EC Sports Invest. To the ECSI VIPs, we'll have an alert out at some point. It's almost noon now. But basically, it's 4th of July weekend. Again, enjoy it. Have some fun. Remember to celebrate the birthday of the US of A. Tomorrow will be a lot of hot dogs, watermelon, ice cream, however you celebrate it, parades, fireworks, the good stuff here. We got a full week coming up with us here on our desk in our studio. I'll have some alerts out there on who's coming, who's not coming. We are at the dog days of summer, guys. We're 2 weeks away from the All-Star break in LA, I think it is this year. So we'll keep you updated. Who's on, who's off, who's going to the summer cottages, yada, yada, yada. I am penciled in to land in Vegas at 9:45 a.m. Saturday morning. That's the schedule. I'll keep everyone updated there. I'm going to be heading to the World Series of Poker, the main event, cheering on some friends and some colleagues there, meeting up with Mr. Dave Sharapan, maybe Matt Peral, Props US, and a couple other big dogs. Circa, always going to make your trip to Circa. And Westgate, of course. But full week ahead of us. So remember this, peoples. If you are wagering today, please do it responsibly. If you do have a problem, ask for help. Why? Myself and Riley care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. For myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day. Have some fun today. Cash some tickets. Please, please, please. Remember, it's Quicksand Sunday. If it looks too good, it is too good, especially on Sunday. And we will see you next week, peeps.